We're
Fade
here.
in.
Oh,
Oh,
we're
hey, we're
in.
here.
Oh, we're in.
Dude, okay, first of all, thank God it's Friday, and
Dude,
welcome to Legends Clubhouse. I am Bobby Caboose, as always, the guy that looks super comfortable in a weird, very weird position, and we don't know what's going on underneath his laptop. Um,
that's
it looks
insane.
like it looks like you're on a casting couch. Lawson Turner, what's kind of going on here, man?
No,
You got the like the what is that, ivory white wall behind you. Or whatever color that is. You're on a weird couch. You're in a weird position where we have no idea what's going on beneath you. You maybe have no pants on. I'm not sure. You look like you just woke up. And you're in a weird location.
are you, is it my turn to answer these
No,
questions?
no, because like my eyes like are burning right now.
Listen,
Uh, it, like I don't know how your laptop's standing up. I hope you didn't have to take a blue chew or something and balancing your shit. But both your hands are up now and you're kind of in space. So, third leg in it, or what's going on?
first of all, third leg is crazy. Number two, it's all fun and games tour sponsored by Blue Chew. number number three, yeah, we're in a remote location. I'm not at, the normal, desk setup per se, but the show must go on. And I'm super happy that we're back because we missed Wednesday's show due to, traveling, XYZ, things like that. But we're here and we're happy to be back.
Yeah, and finally, you don't have that ugly ass Steelers flag behind you. So happy for that because they're going to get destroyed this weekend. We'll get into that later. But, we missed out on some stuff the last couple of days. Big news out of the NBA. Trey Young, your boy, your Atlanta boy, your Georgia, the hometown hero for you.
Hmm.
No longer hometown. So is that why you traveled north? Were you trying to follow Trey Young to DC?
I was trying to escape the sourness of the city because for the majority of the NBA world, it was Trey Young's a coach killer. Trey Young's he I the reason why I fall in love with specific players, I accept them for what they are, and whatever they're not, I don't exceed those expectations. Trey Young was an undersized guard coming out of college. I thought he was electric and really fun to watch. And when he got drafted to the Hawks with it was him and the Luka Doncic swap, I was like, okay, he Atlanta needs a flair, and he gave them, all he gave the city of Atlanta all of the flair they could ever ask for in a superstar that he had his defensive limitations, but it wasn't due to lack of trying or effort. He's just 5'11", maybe 6 feet tall, but he was awesome. And I think in his second year, he led the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals, the first time since 2015, and it's just I was not expecting him to even be moved because when you look at their squad on paper with Trey Young, I was like, okay, they got some super young talent. I'm excited to see them grow and mesh together. But the reason they ended up, shipping him out, well, it might have been due to them not, fully buying in and wanting to give him, like a max to potential super max contract that he might have been asking for. But with Trey Young missing time with his MCL sprain this year and injuries they suffered last year, it might have just been the heartbeat and lifespan of the team. It just moved past Trey Young because with his absence, you look at players like Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels, who they brought over when they shipped DeJounte Murray out of town. They can really, handle the ball and continue to grow and build. And, when they drafted Zachary uh, Ricochet, it's not Zachary. I think it's Zachar. It's like Zachariah. I was about to say.
Zach Morris?
You said Zach Morton?
Morris.
Oh, Morris. Who's Zach Morris? Anyways, so for
Zach Morris is he's the star of Saved by the Bell, which aired in the early '90s before your time. But everyone knows Zach Morris because he can freeze time and talk to the camera, and he was like the coolest dude to come out of Bayside. Come on, dude!
Well,
And he
now I
played
gotta
basketball. He ran track. He was like half Indian, or I'm sorry, Native American, and they called him Running Zach. He also, was one credit away from graduating, so he had to like, go into a weird play or something to be with his friends to be able to graduate. And he was like the ultimate cool guy. I can't,
mm.
you would know about, but even the less popular people like yourself should know the popular ones.
Well, now that I know, but going back to the original, point before we got on one of the mini spiels that we'll probably get on during this episode, it's with the Hawks transitioning past Trey Young. It's no fault of of anyone's. Like whenever your stars, especially in basketball, where it is 5-on-5, it's not like a 11-on-11 like in the NFL. When your superstar who dominates the ball goes down, it gives these his complementary pieces opportunities to show what they have with the ball in their hands, and that's ultimately what happened. And I mean, they got CJ McCollum, who's an aging star, who's still a 19 to 20 point scorer in the league, and Corey Kispert, who I think fits Atlanta well due to a solid wing defender who can also score the basketball.
I still want to know how your laptop's propped up because it's moving a little bit as if someone has a camcorder and just recording you.
Legs crossed and propped.
Back to the '90s references. But hey, Trey Young reminds me of artificial intelligence. I mean, wrong AI.
Is this
He
better for you,
reminds
Mr.
me of
Caboose?
he reminds me of Allen Iverson,
Mm,
right? The other AI. Um, when he was on the 76ers, he was ball dominant. He would get the other players involved when he needed to, but he was ultimately a scoring point guard, and or shooting guard, whatever you want to call him. But he dominated the ball.
mhm,
He was kind of a one-man gang in the early 2000s, leading them to the NBA Finals. Like you said, Trey Young was able to lead them into the not Eastern Standard Conference, Eastern Standard Conference. We're gonna start calling it that. The ESC of WWE. Just
mm,
kidding. Legends Clubhouse. But um, so anyway, I'm not a big NBA guy anymore. But from what I've been hearing is the Atlanta Hawks have a nice young core, and sometimes when you take that ball dominant guy out, it gives the other opportunity for the other role players to shine and get them, more be more versatile, more ball movement, spreading the defenses, not so much one on one. So. From what I've been hearing, it's a good trade for both because Trey Young, apparently, I think the Wizards have a young team as well, and maybe even younger than Atlanta. And Trey Young can kind of come in there and mold their young players into, possibly superstars. But um, it's interesting that he didn't go to a contender and he went to one of the worst teams in the league.
mhm,
I don't think Rip Hamilton or Michael Jordan or George Marison or Chris Webber or Larry Hughes or Gilbert Arenas um, are walking through that door anytime soon. So
mhm,
it'll be interesting to see, if Trey Young's at least points per game go up. And to see if he is as ball dominant or more in Washington. And I'm interested to see what the core of the Atlanta Hawks do without him.
mhm,
Um, I think Trey Young is a love him or hate him type player. He draws a lot of fouls. He's got range, but it's to me that kind of basketball is kind of boring if it's just all one on ones. And let me just either try to take you to the rack or James Harden, famous 17 steps to the side and jacking up threes. So I just wanted to hear your opinion on it because they don't call you Lawson NBA for no reason, or how myself and your friends call you the association. Um, so we appreciate your input on it, and
Hmm.
we'll see where both teams are headed. And I feel like there's always at least one. And it's usually typically one blockbuster trade a couple weeks before the deadline,
Hmm.
just to kick off trading season.
What's it? You're right about that. What's also really interesting is a Wizards insider yesterday or the day before, can't remember which one, said that he would be surprised if Trae Young plays. Well, Trae Young will probably play little, if at all, the rest of the season. Which, I mean, he's already missed time with an MCL sprain. So, and the team is not very good per se. So it's kind of like a, you know, kind of it's okay to suck this year because the draft is the draft class is projected to be one of the best in semi recent memory. So it doesn't incentivize them, you know, winning or being anything close to competitive, which they already weren't this year.
Yeah. Now I don't like how you're looking down on us, but anyway, um, so, do you think there's any chance? What's first of all, what before I ask this question,
Hmm.
what's Trey Young contract looking like? Is he a free agent after the year?
He's on if my memory serves me correct, before looking it up, I think he's on a player option. Yeah, I think he's on a player
So he can
option.
opt out. He can opt out and enter free agency.
I- If my memory serves me correct, this is the last year of his deal, and the current year that he's on is a player option. So he opted in, this year. So I think he is a
Oh,
pending free agent, but I assume that the Washington, you don't make this move if you're not willing to, back up the Brinks trucks.
right. But so that leads me into my next question: is there a chance that he gets dealt again before the deadline? Could this be a
Uh,
Rasheed Wallace type trade where Rasheed went to Atlanta from Portland, played one game, and then got traded to Detroit?
that would be really funny. So, okay, so he's got a player option next year. That's what it is. He's on a player option next year at $49.96 million, which of course he's going to opt into, and then just re up at the end of next year. If not, they're already probably working on a contract extension now. That's my guess.
But you don't think there's a chance of them flipping him?
No, they have already maximized in terms of flipping talent. Like, you traded for Jordan Poole, and well, you were one of the facilitating teams in the Chris Paul from the Warriors deal, in order to get Jordan Poole. So you flip Jordan Poole for CJ McCollum, and you essentially flip CJ McCollum, who was an expiring contract, and get Trae Young, who is a great floor piece to have when you're building a young core. Because, like, they drafted Alex Sarr last year, with number one pick, who is shown to be a good, promising young center. He's got touch, he's got range, he's a modern day big, little undersized at 6'10", but you're willing to live with the undersize, with his explosive athleticism, and I think him and Trae Young could be a dangerous, pick and roll dynamic in the half court.
Gotcha. See, I like because if I were the Washington Wizards, I would flip them at the deadline and try to get more assets.
Hmm.
Because I feel like Trey Young, he's a nice player. I don't think you can win with just him. I think he
Hmm.
needs I think he needs to be a complementary player versus the man. I
Hmm.
don't think you can build around him per se, but I think you could put him with. I feel like he's like again poor man's Allen Iverson, a poor man's Kyrie Irving. But if you put him with the right like for example, I think if Detroit didn't have Cade Cunningham, I think you'd fit good here. I think he
Yeah.
would be good with the young talent with being able to pick and roll with Jalen Duren, have shooters around him, things like that. But I'm not sure if he's the one that I would necessarily build around.
Hmm.
But like you said, he's a defensive liability. He's majority of the time he's got the ball in his hands. So he's either got to be a facilitator, or drop 30 a night. But even dropping 30 a night without getting anyone involved doesn't really help you if you're taking 50 shots a night. But
With
it should be interesting to see where both teams go into the future.
mhm.
Um, so there's
Yeah,
our
and
NBA
it's
talk.
I was gonna say, and to wrap it up, it's like he's a volume shooter, but he's also, if I think he's third all time in assists per game. Like he's a genuine. He's one of the not last true point guards, because a lot of the point guards in today's NBA, they are twos masquerading as point guards, but he's a true, like when he was at Oklahoma before he got drafted, he led the nation in scoring and assists. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I'm just I grew up on point guards not really scoring.
yeah,
They're
which
usually the
is
facilitators and average probably about 10 points a game.
mhm,
So it's a little bit of a different game. Like I think, I don't understand why people call Chris Paul the point god, because he's never won anything.
mhm,
And I'm pretty sure you have to win something to be a god. But I think the kind of the last real point guard was probably like Rajon Rondo, who didn't count on his scoring. He just got all of his teammates involved. He was a good defensive player. He led the league, I think, in steals a couple of years, or he should
mhm,
have. He was towards the top of the league. But to me, point guards, similar to like centers, kind of get garbage points, kind of get, if they can make it to the rim, if they have an open shot, they'll take it. But to me, a true point guard just gets everyone around him involved.
right,
The pace of the game, determines or is dependent on how your point guard plays and things like that. So, like I said, we it should be interesting in the Eastern Conference. They're the first two teams to kind of mix it up before the trade deadline. When is the trade deadline? A couple weeks?
yeah.
Can you give me a date instead of just saying
Uh,
yeah?
it changes damn near every year. When is the NBA trade deadline? It
Georgia,
is February.
Georgia Lawson would have had all this shit at the tip of his fingers and already been,
I know.
this this
I don't have the
this Tennessee slow whiskey drinking,
February 5th, so we've got a month.
horseback riding fucking Lawson it needs to be on top of his game.
Yeah,
The
no,
Kentucky Derby. We don't need your analysis on who's coming out of gate 6.
I I don't have all my bells and whistles here. No, though, but the trade deadline is February 5th. So we've got
February 5th.
just a little under a month.
That's like my fifth favorite day of the year.
Wow. NBA trade deadline or February 5th?
February 5th.
Mm. Any particular reason?
No, I'm just talking shit, and I don't know what goes on February 5th, and I could give two shits about February 5th. But anyway, it will be the NBA trade deadline this year. Um, but anyway, we'll kind of move on.
Hmm.
What else is going? Dude, before we get into any like NFL or football shit, like what's been going on the last couple days? Because I haven't talked to you. Well, I have talked to you, but not on the
Hmm.
show since
Yeah.
Monday. What's been going on with you? I know you traveled up to Tennessee.
Visiting family and just hanging out,
Realize that
relaxing and chilling.
you said it's about a 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
Do you just like because I'm trying to geographically see this.
Hmm.
Uh, do you just is it does Georgia touch Tennessee?
Yeah. So if Georgia's here, Tennessee's literally
That's
it. Oh yeah, the mitten. So
yes.
if Georgia, I'm trying to think on how I would make the Georgia with my hand. I really can't because it's a Michigan thing. But if Georgia is, if this is the map, Georgia's here.
All right.
Tennessee is directly above it. So yes, touching
So yeah, because like we got Michigan.
the
It's the mitten,
mitten.
right?
Yeah,
And then we got the butthole right here is Ohio.
that's
So
amazing.
we're striking that ass every fucking day. Um, but yeah, man, we don't like Ohio up here.
Hmm.
You probably like Ohio down there. No one likes Ohio. Um, but
It makes
yeah, man. So the
stinks.
last It does, dude. It really does. Like no joke. Like once you enter the state, like it just smells like cow shit and sulfur. I don't know what they're doing down there. I know stuff that they're not doing down there, but but anyway, the last couple days, man. What have we been up to? We've just been kind of hanging out, writing a lot, getting this New Leaf news. We always plug it at the end. We're doing great things over there, man. We are our
Big
content is
things.
going off the off the chain, raising the roof, whatever 90s slang, whoop, there it is. Boom shakalakas. We're doing all of it over there. But I'm super excited to see where we're going, man. We were getting great content out of everyone.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, dude, I had a couple of stories, but they're slipping my mind now. Um, but yeah, I just been on the road. Like I've been, I've been door dashing a little bit to get some extra cash, and that's been
mm,
interesting because you just like, dude, running into other dashers and just random places, dude. Like you just see so much stupid shit. Uh,
mm-hmm.
you're on the road, so you get to deal with all the, uh, you know, terrible drivers and stuff. And I had something specifically that I wanted to bring up, but I'm
Slip.
completely drawing a blank. So maybe for another day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, though, but it's really. I mean, I know you said before we jump into football talk. I'm sure it doesn't feel the same without the Lions with their history of success and making the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah, it's this year it hits hard, man, because Detroit is a steady playoff team throughout their history, and
7 years, yeah.
well, their 3 year history, their last 3 years, 2 years, back to back NFC North champions, but no, this
Thank
is what I was
God.
gonna bring up. Do you? Yeah, hell yeah, that's actually that sweatshirt up there is the One Pride one, but
Nice.
anyway. Do you regularly like DoorDash or Uber Eats or anything like that? Do you order food like that or no?
Every now and again, but I'm not like because I know some people they do that shit twice, like 2 3 times a day, and I'm like, damn.
So this is what I was gonna bring up, man. So okay, so as a dasher, you like, or it's that
Mm-hmm.
someone uses one of the services, you can write notes in there or instructions and stuff. And some of the stuff that I see, man, it's like I saw one the other day that it said like, leave on the side of the porch. Um, if our door is open, that is not an invitation for you to walk in my house. If you are placing the food and there's a roof over your head, you are trespassing. And I'm like, what? So I get there and I see their front door, and it must be like one of those doors that like almost like a restaurant where you have, I forget what the term is, when you have the door and then the door to actually get into the building, but
Yeah.
it must be something like that. And I'm like, dude, like someone just literally just walked into your house like that, like, and like they explained where they wanted the thing, and it was like clear as day, like, okay, like I leave it on this little ledge. And so like it wasn't even like something where I'm even thinking of where I have to deliver it. I had one yesterday for a lady that what was the instruction? It was like um leave, do not knock, do not ring my doorbell. I have dogs, whatever. And then it says, and don't put the food in front of the door so I can't open the door. That's how you make a mess. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm like, you're writing these fucking huge ass fucking paragraphs. So I'm like, first of all, I hate when they put it in front of the door. If they put it in front of the door, they have no fucking common sense.
Mm-hmm.
I always put it on the side or whatever, or a little bit in front so you can
Like a
fucking open
normal
the
human
door.
being, right?
Yes, like a normal human being. Yesterday, I was able to pick up a couple of bottles of vodka for a guy that already seemed super drunk. Which
That's why.
whatever, dude.
That's why he's DoorDashing. He can't go get it.
I know, man. I was like, and the funny thing is it was like literally right around the corner from the liquor store, and I was like, I was telling the girlfriend, I was like, I go, this dude's got to be already fucking shit faced. Like, if you can't make it to this, literally like, go boom, 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 and then boom, boom, boom to come back. I'm like, yeah, he must
Bro
have
was
some issues. He was very thankful, and he wished me a happy new year.
what time was
But
it?
he was definitely, um before 7.
Oh,
It was about
bro's already having way too much fun.
I think he might have had a hard day at work or something. Um, but yeah, man, and then dude, the the funniest thing, or one of the funniest things that I come across is when I'm waiting for food. Like, of course, like I've worked at fast food. I've dealt with customer service, all this stuff. So I'm very patient when I go in there. I'm like, hey, when they come up to me, I'm like, hey, I got DoorDash for so and what, whatever. And dude, there'll be Door Dashers that, like, if you're the employee, they'll just be like, and stick their fucking phone in your face, and you're like, dude, like, you have no manners. You can't be like, yeah, excuse me, like, I got a door, like, they're like, "Duh," and I'm like, dude, like, calm down, like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say
it,
I assume the normal channels, and I'm sorry to interrupt, I assume the normal channels would be go to the counter and be like, hey, I have a DoorDash order for, and here's my order,
yeah, yeah,
as opposed to
yeah,
just
and like,
phone please.
dude, like, especially like at like Chick-fil-A when it's fucking busy as fuck. You have Chick-fil-A down there, I'm sure you
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
Are they always fucking packed?
for the most part.
Okay, so yeah, so it especially happens there because there's one right by our house now, and they actually made a second one about a mile down the same road because the first
So
one is
busy.
so busy. And so, but like, yeah, man, these people like go in there and they act like they're so rude. They act like they fucking own the place. Like, I'm like, dude, like, if I was that employee, I'd be like, get your phone out of my fucking face, and you'll get your goddamn food when I'm ready to give it to you.
That's so funny. Where you just phone, I'm here.
Yeah, and a lot of the times, they'll give you the stuff in the bags to take it out. They'll put drinks in the bag, and I'm like, obviously try to put it in a drink carrier, but I'm like, this ain't fucking safe. Like, I've had one coffee like fucking spilled in the bag. I lift the bag up. The whole thing is soaked. It's like ripping. It's all over my fucking chair in my car. And luckily, the person in the driveway, and I was like, I am so sorry. And like just coffee's like pouring out of the bag as if I'm like,
That's funny.
as if it's like a Gatorade fucking Gatorade thing where you're pushing
Hmm.
the button and it's flowing. That's how the flow was of this coffee in
I
this bag.
remember
I'm like, I'm
this. I remember this one time. My sister and her boyfriend, they DoorDash some from the liquor store, and one of the instructions, well, not instructions, but one of the things that the guy, it was like a 2 liter Sprite, and the lady was getting out of her car and dropped the 2 liter, and the Sprite busted, and the cap looked like it got ran over because it fell on like the on the asphalt, and she was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry," and I'm like, "It's not my fucking order," so
right.
I just went out to grab the fucking thing.
Yeah, but yeah, so little adventures of DoorDash, and maybe I'll have some more,
Oh,
stories and stuff.
oh, the weird stuff's coming.
Oh yeah, no, man. I just signed up for the card that you can like shop for people and
Oh,
like go to the grocery store, and like, so I'm
I
just imagining
remember.
shit.
I remember one of my buddies a couple years ago. He started doing DoorDash, and he went to, it might have been like a Walmart or something, but this girl wanted like 74 items, and he was like, "Jesus Christ, I'm gonna be here all fucking day." And then there's been orders where it's literally like, y'all couldn't just go to the store and get like these 3 things that y'all need.
Right. Yeah, dude, I literally today I picked up one. I had to go to CVS, and I
Hmm.
picked up one C4. I'm like, you couldn't come up to the fucking CVS and get yourself an energy drink?
Now,
Hey,
now,
damn.
as opposed to spending like 269 or whatever the C4 is, you're paying that. He's paying you. He's tipping. He's doing all
Yeah.
these. You know.
turns into a $7 or $8 purchase,
For real,
But
dude.
so we do have some college football playoff yesterday. The
Hmm.
U baby, the U, the Convicts. They are victorious over Ole Miss. I was torn, man, because I want I'm rooting for Miami to win it all. But I also was rooting for Ole Miss because of the whole Lane Kiffin thing, and I just
Hmm.
wanted them to give giant bird when they won the national championship. But it looks like it's going to be Miami versus the winner of the Big Ten,
Hmm.
which will tonight, correct? Indiana
Yeah.
and Oregon.
Yes,
So
tonight.
who do you got in this game? You got the Fighting Frank Mendozas or Fernando, whatever his name is,
Yeah,
Fernando
Fernando
Mendoza.
Mendoza. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard for any team to out duel Indiana. They're just so well put together. They're such a veteran team, and it's funny because you don't see college teams be with the term they're a veteran college team, but I think I read or heard some weird stat that like 80% of the roster, some ridiculous percentage, was full of like 4 and 5 year starters. And I'm like, those are just grown ass men beating up on
Right.
college kids. And they are, them in Miami, especially during Miami's playoff run this year, they impose their will on teams.
Hmm.
Like any completed pass or any offensive play that I said Miami, that Alabama did that was successful. And but when I mean successful, I mean like a completion or anything. The Indiana's defenders, they tackled you to the ground and then some. To me, what I look at when I determine if teams are physical, they can run the ball in any situation and their DBs hit. And Kurt Signetti, the job that he's done in his 2 years at Indiana, it's like because I think entering this college year, Indiana was second all time in losses, and to turn that program that's been a bottom three program for 100 and however long they've been a program to the powerhouse over the past 2 years, it's been an awesome thing to watch. Mendoza's great. They have elite weapons. They're physical. Everybody hits. Everybody tackles. Um defensive line is great. I really think the I think it's Indiana's to lose, but I just kind of like you, I wanted Ole Miss to win it all because I've been told friends, and I think I said out on the show last week where I would have loved to see Ole Miss win it, and then because one of my buddies asked me, "Hey, if Ole Miss wins, does Lane get a ring?" I said, "If I was the athletic director for Ole Miss, I wish he might ask me for a ring and spit in his fucking face, dude. Like you gonna leave us high and dry, and then we gonna win the
Right.
Natty, and it's like, oh, do I get my ring? Fuck you. I mean, he's already getting the playoff bonuses. I don't know if you knew this, but LSU's paying him for every playoff bonus that or win that Ole Miss got because it was in his contract because
Yeah.
he gets bonuses and LSU's paying that. So
Well,
regardless,
then I'm glad they lost then.
I was talking to my nanny who's a big Tennessee fan, and she was like, I want Miami to win because I don't like Lane Kiffin, and I'm happy because he's not getting those bonuses either. And I'm like, you know what? When you put it like that, you're damn right. But once again, I wanted them to win just to stick it. Like, see, you left us high and dry, and we did it anyways without you.
Yeah, speaking of leaving high and dry, dude. So heard this stat the other day that the transfer portal is officially open. I believe it's
Yeah.
open until January 15th. Dude, so there is enough players in the transfer portal to fill complete rosters of every team in the Big Ten, SEC, and three schools of your choice.
Yeah, there's
That is
there's
fucking
it's
ridiculous, dude.
agreed, and it goes to the mobility that these college kids have now, and with NIL being kind of semi like the Wild Wild West because it's not really regulated. I remember Ed Ogeron was on. busting with the boys, Taylor Lewan and Will Compton's podcast. The clip keeps coming up every now and again, but I don't know when it aired. But they asked him, what's one of the biggest differences between like the NIL then and well, not really then, but because it wasn't NIL. What's like a big change? And he said, oh well, with NIL we walk in the front door with the bags of money, and before we walk in the back door with the bags of money. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and obviously he said he was joking, but I'm like, add up, Big O, really? Are you really
All right.
kidding? Because at least now that we can see it as opposed to it being speculated for years, like, oh, of course all these SEC teams are paying all these players. Well, it's like, well, we don't know that, but now it's now we can because it's public.
Right. So yeah, I think it's amazing on how many you know players enter this thing and do as they please, because like even like you think it just of like the logistic of being an athlete in college, like
Yeah.
say for myself, I'm if you've been paying attention at all to the show, I live in the Detroit area, so like just I can just imagine like if I was like a highly profiled college player or whatever entering the transfer portal. Say I started off at Michigan State, which is probably an hour and a half away from here, and I transfer to Oregon. Like you're not only transferring schools, like but like you have to get the logistics to move there. It's not. It's
Mhm.
like you are moving across country, and like these kids that like are entering the transporter every year and playing for 3, 4, 5 teams. You're like, dude, like, don't you get sick of fucking moving across the country? Because most kids aren't. It's not like most kids are going from, Texas to Texas Tech or
Mhm.
Eastern Michigan to Michigan. Like they're going across the country to fulfill their dream of playing college football. And girlfriend's over here swearing and shit like we're allowed to swear on our show because of Red Dead Redemption. But anyway, but yeah, it's just crazy to me to think that like yeah, you're a college kid and you're just gonna move across country because that's where you're gonna go to school for probably a year and then transfer out.
Mhm.
But anyway, there is bigger and better playoffs as well this weekend as far as the NFL. Let's get into the professional shit. Tomorrow, which what games we got tomorrow?
So tomorrow the first game is the Rams at Carolina,
Okay.
and then the late night game is round three of the NFC North battle, baby. And I don't know if you saw this. They're expecting snow.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna feel like I read this morning. It's gonna feel like 9 degrees. They're expecting snow. There's gonna be gusts of wind up to 39 miles an hour. We love a bad Chicago weather, windy game.
Hell yeah, man. I'm hoping this game ends like 3-0, and it's just like a bunch of turnovers and shit. Like people can't
That would
throw,
that'd be
pounding
amazing.
in the middle for your 2, 3 yards a gain just for field position, and then you punt it and you
Hmm.
can't. I hope it's a whiteout. I hope you can't see fucking anything on the screen. I'm excited.
Dude, one
That's
one
play.
million percent. That is that playoff football that we know, and we all love it. We all
That's why Detroit needs a retractable roof.
That'd be amazing. So, and then, but before we move on to Sunday, who do you have advancing in those two games?
Obviously the Rams.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this on Monday. If the Rams didn't already lose against Carolina, I would say Carolina could maybe keep it close. I think this game would be the blowout of the weekend, and I'm probably not saying anything new or groundbreaking, but I think they're going to probably handle them about 38-10.
Hmm.
Um, if they can keep that stupid ass Stafford off the field and control the clock, I think that Carolina will have a better chance. But they got to bring the run game. I think they can. It's when you're this much of an underdog in the playoffs. It's can you sustain long drives? You don't want like unfortunately you want to score, but you don't want to score too quick to give the other team possession of
Hmm.
the football. Because if you don't have the football, you can't score.
Right.
So, you know, the time of possession is going to be huge. But I just think the Rams are going to overmatch him. And then the late night game, I don't know, man. The Packers have had their injuries, their problems. It's in Chicago. I think they split during the regular season. It's hard to beat a team twice. If one team went 2-0, I might go with the other because it's really hard to beat a team three times in a season.
Hmm.
It's awesome, man. If a gun to my head, I would probably have to go with the Bears. Um, they're I think they're the hotter team right now. The whole Micah Parsons injury, I think, kind of derailed some of Green Bay's momentum.
Hmm.
But we'll see, man. Matt LaFleur is he's a good coach. He usually has his team prepared. And we'll see Ben Johnson for the first time as a head coach in the playoffs. So
Hmm.
maybe maybe he's not distracted on getting another head coaching job like he was last year for the Lions versus the I almost said Redskins, but the Commanders. Who do you got going in these two games?
I'm we're in lock and step per se. I think that just like you said, I think if the Rams would have beaten I was about to say Charlotte, Carolina, in the regular season, it would be more of like a lively dog feel where it's like, okay, they got us. You can kind of, play, more into it, in which, because the Rams 3 weeks ago were arguably the best team in the league and they were vying for the number one seed. And then, to lose that and fall where they did now you go from, one seed to the 5 seed. So you're going to be on the road for the, entirety of the postseason, but getting Carolina or whoever was the NFC South winner, that is a blessing, and I think the Rams take care of business. And after thinking about it, I really like Chicago in this. I think it is as close to a pick 'em as you can, because even though despite the injuries that the Packers have suffered, that second game without Micah Parsons, it took a fourth and goal play with 22 seconds left just to force overtime.
Yeah,
And I think not that Green Bay hasn't played in Chicago before, but it's their first playoff, taste since like
yeah.
2017, 2018. So the fact that I think the crowd's going to be rowdy. I think that Ben Johnson, even though in the snow and in the elements, it could be, troublesome for the offense to get going. I don't see a situation where um Green Bay can keep up despite Chicago's defense being piss poor.
I think it comes down to whoever had a home field advantage. I think is
Yeah.
going to win this game, and since it is in Chicago, because like someone pointed out to me years ago that rain affects offenses.
Hmm.
Um, Snow does not. Snow actually affects defenses because if you watch a heavily snowed game, usually the offense, yeah, I mean, unless it's like a complete whiteout, the winds going and everything. Usually the offenses don't really skip a beat because they are in control as far as snap, the momentum of the play just beginning. Sometimes the defense has to get their footing correctly, and
Hmm.
they get off, bad jumps, allowing running backs to get at least a couple of yards before they're even engaged in the trenches. So you know I don't think there'll be a lack of scoring because of the snow. I think if the wind is really how they're saying it's going to be, about 40 miles an hour, like you said, I think that will affect it a little bit. Um, but yeah, I just think the Bears, because they're at home, because the Packers seem to be a little bit more banged up than them. I think the Bears move on to next weekend. What about Sunday? Who's got the Sunday slates? I think we got a Monday night game too. So
So Sunday is where it's really going to be fun and interesting. So the first game is the Bills and the Jags. Josh Allen on one side against one of the hottest teams and players in Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's the 1 o'clock game. Then at 4:30, we have the Niners going to Philly and taking on Jalen Hurts and the reigning Super Bowl champions. And the late night game is Justin Herbert and the Chargers going to New England to take on the potential MVP and Drake May and the New England Patriots.
So I'm hoping that the Jags and the 49ers win this week and move on because I don't want any team that was a Super Bowl favorite at the beginning of the season to win. And that includes Philly, that includes Buffalo. We already got Detroit knocked out, which obviously I would want them to win because I'm a Lions fan. But we already have them out. We already have Kansas City out, and we already have Baltimore out. So
Hmm.
those are probably the five teams that were probably most favored in the Super Bowl preseason. Let's get somebody new out there. San Fran would probably be the next one that I would want to drop off. But I want a Super Bowl with Jacksonville and someone out of the NFC that wasn't expected. Let's say Carolina. That would be awesome. That would be Carolina and the Jags, both '90s franchises. Jags have never been there. Carolina's been there, I think, twice. Didn't win
Hmm.
it, but third time might be a charm. Let's get Trevor Lawrence a ring. Let's get somebody some action outside of these fucking teams that are there every year, minus the
Hmm.
Lions, because we all know that the Lions are too good for the Super Bowl.
Way too good for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Um,
think about it. Think about it real quick. Think
just
about it
thinking.
just think about it. So the Lions won the NFL championship in the 50s a couple times, right? And like once they changed it to the Super Bowl, we're like, go fuck yourself, man. We had that championship. We don't need your little Lombardi trophy. We're not gonna win something that's named after a Packers head coach. Like get the
We
fuck out of here.
we
We're
want
too
to
good for this shit.
we win championships. We don't win ball games.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. What is this college? Like if we want to run if we want to win a bowl or a cup, we'll go up to Canada, win that Grey Cup or whatever it's called for the CFL.
The Grey Cup. That's amazing. Yeah, though, but for these three games, I like the Jags in a high scoring game. I think Josh Allen, who's an all time great playoff performer, I just think the Jags are too hot right now. Like Trevor Lawrence, I think in his past 4 or 5 games, 19 total touchdowns, one turnover.
Yeah.
He's on a crazy heater. And the job Liam Cohen has done in changing, because it was funny because I got some friends who are Jacksonville fans, and we were all memeing on his first Duval,
Mm.
his intro, and now every time he gets played, he's like, hell yeah, that's my head coach, because for we like a little nerdiness in coaching, because it's like, dude, you don't have to be such a hard ass uptight, just to kind of keep the room light. And I feel like he's perfect for Jacksonville, and for I think it's hard for the Niners to, because I think the Eagles defense is elite. And I understand that the Niners have come off the worst game under Kyle Shanahan since he's been with the Niners. I just think that if Trent Williams, their future Hall of Fame left tackle, if he misses this game and he's missed the last two, it's going to be damn hard for them to slow down that Philly front. So I like the Jags at 1 o'clock. I like the Eagles at 4. It's at 4:30, and in the late night game. I mean, I don't. I will bet against the Chargers until they prove me otherwise. I don't want to hear shit about the Chargers. Like, Herbert's turn is starting to, because I remember when Joe Burrow, they made the Super Bowl AFC Championship game, and it's like, oh, his defense let him down. Oh, this, oh, that. He's just Herbert's if man. If he had a good coach, if he had a good defense, if he had good weapons. Now it's if his offensive lineman didn't get hurt. I don't want to hear none of that shit. You were up 24 in a wild card game, up 24-0 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and found a way to lose. If you're that guy, I'm giving you a 4-score lead, buddy. 4. I don't want to hear it.
I'm I'm listening because that's what I had to fucking listen to for 12 fucking years with Matt Stafford on our team.
I don't want to hear it.
Like dude, exact same. Oh, this year he didn't have a defense. This year he didn't have an offensive line. He doesn't have enough weapons. He doesn't have a run game. Bullshit, dude. Go out and win fucking games, dude.
I
Make your
have
team.
I will listen to it once. I might listen to it twice. A third, fourth, fifth time? Absolutely not. No.
Yeah. No, dude, it was every single year, and people still do it. People are like, "Oh, they wasted all their years in Detroit." Blah, blah, blah. Dude, go fuck yourself. You should have left. You shouldn't have signed your fucking contract extension. That maybe that would have go somewhere else earlier. But so you mentioned earlier, we don't want, or we love nerdy coaches. We don't love nerdy coaches. We love fucking guys that are biting kneecaps, doing wrestling promos every Sunday, big hulky alpha males as our head coaches who, if you look at them wrong, they will beat your fucking ass.
I'm
Dan
saying
Campbell.
Dan Campbell won pride.
And our new OC, Mike McDaniels.
Oh,
I hope to.
but we don't like nerdy coaches, huh?
Hey, hey,
He
it's okay.
swears
Not,
on the
that's
ball.
not a head coach. That's not a head coach. That's an OC. And
Dude,
and
if
he's got cocaine glasses. If he wears those fucking South Beach, I'm sniffing cocaine glasses,
if
I will take him on the lines all day, every day, because he will hype up the energy of Dan
dude,
Campbell, and our offense will be unstoppable.
if my let me put this out. If Mike McDaniel goes to the Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs will be the best fantasy player in the NFL for as long as he's there. Because look at Devon A. Chain. They're setting up six screens a game. Jahmyr
Yeah.
Gibbs will be 1-1 next year.
He is my dream OC. They talked about it all day yesterday. Of him coming. I think him and Dan Campbell have some ties too,
Hmm.
and it would be amazing. And I will take that little nerdy guy who's hyped up on whatever he's hyped up on, and we can give him more of that. We can just feed him. Get him prescribed something great, and feed Dan Campbell's ego, have them both being psychos on the sideline, and having this team rolling like last year, but make it farther. Anyway, Monday night game is your Steelers, I'm guessing, because we haven't mentioned them yet.
I'm biting
Versus who
nails,
they
dude.
playing?
The Houston Texans. I'm biting nails, dude.
There's no way in hell that the Pittsburgh Steelers are walking away with a win in this game. So the Houston Texans are probably going to shut them out because hey, we all thought the Steelers were only going to win 4 games this year anyway, and they over.
We
Yeah, we
are we
went through
French
the
now? We
schedule. We agreed on 4 wins.
you you agreed on 4 wins.
Well, I said 0 and you said 8, and we met in the middle.
I think I said 13, but I'll live with 10. I'll live with 10. And once again, all you have to do is get in the dance, and you're alive. And I don't know, dude. It's really tough because Houston's defense is mean, but their offense is piss poor. And
Yeah.
Houston has now. You know what? Go ahead and quote me because if I'm wrong, oh well. I don't think the Texans have ever won a road playoff game. Number one. Number two, Coach Tomlin in this spot Monday night at home never lost. Never. If it's a Monday night and he's at home, never lost. And I think they have a 23-game home winning streak on Monday Night Football at home.
What's their current playoff streak?
I didn't bring that up, so it doesn't matter.
No, it does matter because they haven't won a playoff game in like a decade. So,
Okay, so hold on. So do you want playoff streak or do you want Monday night at home streak?
the Monday night, the games on Monday night are irrelevant if you're not making winning playoff games. So
But the
the Steelers
playoff,
are going.
the playoff game is on a Monday night. That's why it's
All
important.
right, the Steelers are losing 31-4.
I'll cry. Four. If we get
Yeah.
listen, if we get two safeties, we're winning the game.
No, you're not because your offense won't be able to move the ball.
I just
So 31-4. They're the take if you're a betting man, take Houston minus 26.5. Trust me. It's probably at plus 800 or more.
That's
You'll make
hold on.
you'll come in. You'll come in Tuesday. You'll come and see me on Wednesday, on Wild Wednesday, and you'll be like, "Mr. Caboose, thank you. My family is now able to buy a house because you told me to put
Hold
my life
on.
savings on Houston minus 26 and a half."
I'm looking to see if I can even game lines. Here we go. I'm trying to find if I can do alternate. I'm sure I can somewhere.
Somewhere.
That's correct score. They don't. They don't even have it for. Oh, hold on. Those are points to uh fourth
They
quarter
don't have a they don't
lines.
have a 4 point option.
No, they don't. Like, oh, here we go. Alternate spread. Here we go. Houston Texans minus. What'd you say? 26 and a half.
Yeah, it probably doesn't go that high.
You can get it at plus 2,000. You can go all the way up to minus 29 and a half.
All right, so you're plus 2,000.
At minus 26 and a half, it's a plus 2,000.
Okay, put $1,000 on it. Thank me later.
That's like that one B Hen clip today only. Get your betting
Right.
special on PJ Tucker 5-3.
So yeah, it would make you like 20 grand.
Don't do that. Don't do
All
that.
right. You can put a down payment on a house, or you can just be dumb and not
Ste-
do it.
Steelers win 17-10.
Gross. That won't
No,
happen.
oh, it's gonna be a gross game.
And it's but Steelers ain't winning. Steelers have no shot, dude.
I once again the strengths of the team are on two opposite ways, so I guess it kind of washes. What if it goes to like six overtimes and it's just punt back and forth in overtime, just punt 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 punt.
Hey, the Steelers are like a fat kid in a gym with no basketball. They got no shot.
Oh, they gotta swing the
No
rock.
shot.
They
No,
gotta swing
they
it.
got nothing. They got nothing.
Here
Rashard
we
Mendenhall's not walking through that door.
don't mention that guy's name.
Hey,
He cost me
hey,
the Super Bowl.
hey, Tim Tebow.
I don't want to talk about that virgin either.
Hey, he's probably not a virgin anymore. I think he's married.
Probably.
But anyway, thank you for joining us here on this Friday. Thank God it's Friday at the Legends Clubhouse, even though the clubhouse looks a little different on that end. Um, you can find us here on the Legend or New Leaf News's YouTube channel Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, Go check us out. If you can join us live with your lunch, that's great. Hit that subscribe button. If you can't, fill into the show after it's posted. It'll always be posted after. But go check us out at newleafnews.com/network. Both of them take you to the same great site. We are exploding with content daily. It's amazing work that our writers are doing, whether it's sports, gaming, the latest on AI, murder shit, horoscopes, politics, you name it, we got it over there, and our content is flowing like never before. So go check us out over there. If you have any kind of platform for social media, so do we, and most people do. So go check us out over on X, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, or TikTok at New Leaf News. I am at Bobby Caboose on X and on Instagram. That in that, weird location. It might be Mars, it might be Tennessee. I'm not sure. That is at Lawson _1226 on those two platforms. If you like podcasts, check out my other podcast, my show at 64-Bit Legends. Our 64-Bit Legends Rumble for all of those your wrestling fans out there will be early February. Our promos are starting to come close to daily. We have 3 competitors out there now. If you saw the latest, we have, Cock Davis and 2 of the Samoa Joe Project beings, humanoids, whatever you want to call them. check us out over at 64-Bit Legends on X, on Instagram. Other than that, we do appreciate you being here with us. Shout out to our new Leaf team. And Lawson, if you want to take us out, I'm done
Mhm.
rambling for the day. And have a great weekend.
Awesome. For New Leaf News and the Legends Clubhouse, I'm Lawson Turner, and that right there, through this camera and into his room is Bobby Kaboose. We'll see you, beautiful people, Monday afternoon at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, we hope you enjoy your weekend. And I don't have to say go Steelers yet because we'll have a show on Monday. But until next time, we hope you enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Go Texans. Dude, Zach